Hello, Groovers. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Face Radio. My name is Maarten, and this is a super special episode of Liquid Sunshine. Now, when I did my radio presenter training some time ago, it was impressed on me never ever to say welcome back, because as the thinking is, neither I, the presenter, nor you, the listener, went anywhere. But this time, of course, it is different. It is different because the Face did go silent for the whole of Tuesday, for Blackout Tuesday. As did many radio stations and television stations and the like. Not only around the US, but in fact around the world. Because these are really quite remarkable circumstances. So for tonight, now we're back on Wednesday. We've got a special episode of Liquid Sunshine with songs of protest, change and hope. And we're thinking about how we can move forward with this. I have something to say, and I'm sure you have something to say as well. We all have ideas. But first, I want to start this program off with not only just reminding ourselves why we are in this position. And I do that by way of music, of course. And I'll follow that up also with a little bit of an outlet of anger. But first, let's hear some beautiful music.
Pintor nacido en mi tierra, con el pincel extranjero. Pintor que sigues el rumbo de tantos pintores viejos, aunque la Virgen se ablanda, píntame angelitos negros que también se van al cielo, todos los negritos buenos. Pintar si pintas con amor, porque deprecia su color. Si sabes que en el cielo también los quiere Dios. Pintor de santos de alcoba, si tienes alma en el cuerpo, porque al pintor en tus cuadros te olvidaste de los negros. Siempre que pintas iglesias, píntame angelitos bellos, pero nunca te acuerdas de pintar un ángel negro. Pintar si pintas con amor, porque deprecia su color. tienes alma en el cuerpo, porque al pintor en tus cuadros te olvidaste de los negros. Siempre que pintas en iglesias, píntame anhelitos negros, pero nunca te acordaste de pintar un ángel negro, aunque la Virgen te hablando. Píntame angelitos negros, angelitos negros, que también se van al cielo. Todos angelitos, 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 angelitos negros, la la la, la la la. Through a storm, hold your head, hold it up high, and don't you be afraid. Don't be afraid of the dark. For at the end of the storm, He is
C'est l'histoire d'un homme qui tombe d'un immeuble de 50 étages. Le mec, au fur et à mesure de sa chute, il se répète sans cesse pour se rassurer. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Jusqu'ici, tout va bien. Mais l'important, c'est pas la chute. C'est l'atterrissage.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's the sound of the police. Lick up police. That's the sound of the police. Lick up police. That's the sound of the police. Lick up police. That's the sound of the police. Lick up 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 police. That's the sound of the police. Lick up police. That's the sound of the police. Lick up police. That's the sound of the police. Lick up police. That's the sound of the police. Lick up police.
Sa mère, le dernier juge que j'ai vu avait plutôt plus que le dealer de ma rue. Le dernier juge que j'ai vu avait plutôt plus que le dealer de ma rue.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the police. Lick up police. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the police. Lick up police.
I wonder if you'd believe this as a solution to the Aboriginal problem. Herd the worst of the Aborigines into one area and put a chemical in their water that sent them sterile. In time, there'd be none of them left. Well, that solution has been put forward by none other than one of the Premier's closest friends, West Australian mining magnate Lang Hancock.
Yeah, my trust in the police died in custody. Handcuffed and stuffed inside some fuckery. Double knees to keep my breathing shallow as my grave is. On my best behaviors, till we end up leaking on the pavements. Best believe it's racist if we both walk in the same shop tomorrow. And only one gets followed by the same cop. The only difference is our pigments. At least that's what the pig meant. They wanna put us all back in the pig pen, but not all are. Still thinking we fauna. This real life, hit 'em with that 1-2 to me it rise. Clear signs, nothing's getting better, and they ain't gonna let up till we get that gut full and fed up. We starving. That's when they told me looking out for justice was outdated. Deal with it and trust the judges. What the fuck? Newsflash, motherfucker, I don't respect ya. Ignoring that is easy when it won't even affect ya. I called them out. Whoa, whoa, I called them out. Said I call them out. Whoa, whoa, I called them out. Said I called them out. Whoa, whoa, I called them out. I called them out. And then I saw them out quick. Hey, Briggs, you called them out? Hell yeah, I called them out. We did another lap and gave them something else to talk about. We called them out. Whoa, whoa, we called them out. We called them out. And then we saw them out quick. Bitch. And then we saw them out quick. The all beef and we saw them out. Then we saw them out quick. And then we saw them out quick. Quick.
Are no good to themselves and can't accept things, the half-caste, and this is where most of the trouble comes. I would dope the water up so that they were sterile and would breed themselves out and fish, and that would solve the problem.
Yeah, scanner onyx, menotronic, sipping gin and tonic, and hitting chronic. I spit a bonics, fuck the system. I heard they building up another prison right outside the subdivision. Officer friendly, swallowing Henny, intoxicated off power, following any vehicle occupied with people of color. So I'm keeping my brother. The power's against me. Mama convinced me it's good and everybody was good when they used to lynch me and drench me. I'm speaking for victims. Many don't have a voice shuffled in the system, so we share the wisdom. Speaking of live lost, they're killing our kind and barely getting time off. They say we really shouldn't talk about. I say the opposite and call them out. Yeah, I call them out. 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 And then I sort them out quick.
The do-gooders came along and these bureaucrats and the rest of them who write great theses on things down south, and they decided that they better go and civilise these savages of ours. So they brought him into the towns.
Third-class citizen, never got rid of him. Locked in the system, no presumption of innocence. I keep the mind state militant. I keep watch on my brothers cause my state's killing them. I keep my whips inconspicuous, cause these pigs give a fuck what you win. Cause what you drive may be where you die. If you pull over you mightn't pull out alive. Raising my hands, drawing the line in the sand. So there's no excuse for a gun in the bag to let anything fly. If anyone dies, make sure every cop shop in the city fries. It's easier to kill us than skill us. What good's a gorilla in a world of vanilla? Other rappers ain't finna now to talk about. Fuck boys, fuck that, I say the opposite. I call them out.
Now, I wouldn't mind, Philip, if it was just the black, the true Aborigine. But there are so many hybrids, and they're nearly white, and this is where it hurts me. Hurts me. Hurts me.
This terrible. This what you just heard actually happened in Australia. Yes, Australia is not immune from racism and bigotry either, because it just happens everywhere, unfortunately. So that was a pretty intense start to the show, because that is what it is. We are in an intense period, and the Face Radio will not stand for racism or bigotry. We will not have it. So we've had a little bit of a start of anger, because we're going through a grief process, a grief of, you know, losing America, losing our neighborhoods, losing the world. And everyone's angry. But let's start exploring this. First of all, where do we go from here? How do we look at this? What are the things that we can do? And let me give you a hint. It's community.
My advice to you is seek professional help.
Thank you for joining us live on the air.
My pleasure.
One nation under God has turned into one nation under the influence of one drug. Television, the drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation. On television, the drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation. TV, its satellite links, our United States of unconsciousness. Apathetic, therapeutic, and extremely addictive. The methadone metronome, pumping out 150 channels 24 hours a day. You can flip through all of them, and still there's nothing worth watching. TV is the reason why less than 10% of our nation reads books daily. Why most people think Central America means Kansas. Socialism means un-American, and apartheid is the new headache remedy. Absorbed in its world, it's so hard to find us. It shapes our minds the most. Maybe the mother of our nation should remind us that we're sitting too close to the television, the drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation. On television, the drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation. TV is the stomping ground for political candidates, where bears in the woods are chased by Grecian-formed bald eagles. TV is mechanized politics, remote control over the masses. Co-sponsored by environmentally safe gases. Watch for the PBS special. It's a perpetuation of the two-party system, where image takes precedence over wisdom, where soundbite politics are served to the fast food culture, where straight teeth in your mouth are more important than the words that come out of it. Race baiting is the way to get selected. Will he Horton or will he not get elected on television? The drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation on television. The drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation.
On the screen is an address where you can mail your tithe offering or gift of love.
Okay, got the idea? All right, now let's concentrate. Better living through television.
TV. Is it the reflector or the director? Does it imitate us or do we imitate it? Because a child watches 1,500 murders before he's 12 years old. And then we wonder why we created a Jason generation that learns to laugh rather than abhor the horror. TV is a place where armchair generals and quarterbacks can experience firsthand the excitement of video warfare as the theme song is sung in the background. Sugar-sweet sitcoms that leave us with a bad actor taste, while pop stars metamorphosize into soda pop stars. You saw the video, you heard the soundtrack. Well, now go buy the soft drink. Well, the only cola that I support would be a Union COLA cost of living allowance on television. The drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation on television. The drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation. Back again, new and improved, we return to our irregularly programmed schedule, hidden cleverly between heavy-breasted beer and car commercials. CNN, ESPN, ABC, BCB, TNT, but mostly BS. Where oxymoronic language, like virtually spotless, fresh, frozen, light yet filling, and military intelligence have become standard. TV is a place where phrases are redefined, like recession to necessary downturn, crude oil on a beach to moose, civilian death to collateral damages, and being killed by your own army is now called friendly fire. TV is a place where the pursuit of happiness has become the pursuit of trivia, where toothpaste and cars have become sex objects, where imagination is sucked out of children by a cathode ray nipple. TV is the only wet nurse that would create a cripple. Television, the drug of the nation, breeding ignorance, feeding radiation on television. The drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation on television. The drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation on television. The drug of the nation, breeding ignorance and feeding radiation.
Better living through television. Okay, got the idea? Evil is America's joy. Better living through television. Evil is America's joy. Okay, got the idea? All right, now let's concentrate.
When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes, some of us will probably catch it on TV with chicken hanging from our mouths. You'll know it's revolution because there won't be no commercial. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes, preacher pimps are gonna split the scene with the communion wine stuck in their back pockets. Faggots won't be so funny then, and all the junkies will quit their nod and wake up when the revolution comes. When the revolution comes, transit cops will be crushed by the trains after losing their guns, and blood will run through the streets of Harlem, drowning anything without substance. When the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, when the revolution comes. I hope pearly white teeth fall off the mouths that speak of revolution without reference. The course of revolution is 360 degrees. Understand the cycle that never ends. Understand the beginning to be the end, and nothing is in between but space and time that I make or you make to relate or not to relate to the world outside my mind, your mind. Speak not of revolution until you are willing to eat rats to survive. When the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, guns and rifles will be taking the place of poems and essays. Black cultural centers will be forts supplying the revolutionaries with food and arms when the revolution comes. When the revolution comes, white death will fall off the walls of museums and churches, breaking the lie that enslaved our mothers. When the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, Jesus Christ is going to be standing on the corner of Lenox Avenue and 125th Street, trying to catch the first gypsy cab out of Harlem. When the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, Jew merchants will give away matzo balls and gefilte fish to anyone they see with an afro. Frank Shippen will give away the Apollo to the first person he sees wearing a blue dashiki. When the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, afros gonna be trying to straighten their heads, and straighten heads gonna be trying to wear afros. When the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, when the revolution comes. But until then, you know and I know niggas will party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party. Some might even die before the revolution.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still lights of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Broken glass everywhere, people pissing on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the noise, got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice. Rats in the front room, roaches in the back, junkies in the alley with the baseball bat. I tried to get away, but I couldn't get far, cause a man with a tow truck repossessed my car. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Standing on the front stoop, hanging out the window, watching all the cars go by, roaring as the breezes blow. A crazy lady living in a bag, eating out of garbage pails, used to be a fag hag, such a dance to tango, skipped the life and dango. A zircon princess seemed to lost her senses, down at the peep show, watching all the creeps, so she could tell her stories to the girls back home. She went to the city and got so did it. She had to get a pimp, she couldn't make it on her own. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
My brother's doing fast on my mother's TV. Says she watches too much, it's just not healthy. All my children in the daytime, Dallas at night. Can't even see the game or the Sugar Ray fight. The bill collectors, they ring my phone and scare my wife when I'm not home. Got a bum education, double-digit inflation. Can't take the train to the job, there's a strike at the station. Me on King Kong, standing on my back, can't stop to turn around. Broke my sacroiliac, a mid-range migraine, cancer membrane. Sometimes I think I'm going insane, I swear I might hijack a plane. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. My son said, Daddy, I don't wanna go to school, cause the teacher's a jerk, he must think I'm a fool. And all the kids smoke reefer, I think it'd be cheaper if I just got a job, learn to be a street sweeper. I dance to the beat, shuffle my feet, wear a shirt and tie, and run with the creeps. Cause it's all about money, ain't a damn thing funny. You got to have a con in this land of milk and honey. They pushed that girl in front of the train, took her to the doctor, sewed her arm on the game. Stabbed that man right in his heart, gave him a transplant for a brand new start. I can't walk through the park cause it's crazy after dark. Keep my hand on my gun cause they got me on the run. I feel like an outlaw, broke my last glass jaw. Hear them say, you want some more? Living on a seesaw. Don't push me cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. You say what? It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
A child is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. God is smiling on you, but he's frowning too, because only God knows what you'll go through. You'll grow in the ghetto, living second rate, and your eyes will sing a song of deep hate. The places you play and where you stay looks like one great big alleyway. You'll admire all the number book takers, thugs, pimps, and pushers, and the big money makers, driving big cars, spending 20s and 10s, and you wanna grow up to be just like them. Smugglers, scramblers, burglars, gamblers, pickpocket peddlers, even panhandlers. You say I'm cool, I'm no fool, but then you wind up dropping out of high school. Now you're unemployed, all non-void, walking around like your pretty boy Floyd. Turned stick-up kid, but look what you done did. Got sent up for an 8-year bid. Now your manhood is took and you're a make tag. Spend the next 2 years as an undercover fag, being used and abused to serve like hell. Till one day you was found hung dead in a cell. It was plain to see that your life was lost. You was cold and your body swung back and forth. But now your eyes sing the sad, sad song of how you live so fast and die so young. So don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Yo, Mel, you see that girl, man?
Yeah, man.
Yo, that sound like Cowboy, man.
Cool.
Yo, what's up, money?
Yo.
Hey, where's Field and Raheem, man?
They upstairs cooling out.
So what's up for the night, y'all?
Yo, we can go down to Fever, man.
Go check out Junebug, man.
Hey, yo, you know that girl Betty?
Yeah, man.
My mom got robbed, man.
What?
Yeah, she got hurt.
When did this happen? When did this happen?
Free, don't nobody move nothing. Y'all know what this is. Get 'em up. Get 'em up, man. We down with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. What is that, a gang?
No.
Just shut up. I don't want to hear you now. Shut up. Officer, what's the problem? Ain't no you the problem. You the problem. Yo, you ain't got to get in the car. Get in the car. Get in the gas. I said get in the car.
Why is he talking?
Yeah. Bit of the message there, Grandmaster Flash. And not just the track, the message. Because we had several tracks before that. With quite a deep message in there as well. But, you know, so we had Jill Scott Heron with The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. But the Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy. And The Last Poets. And there's been a little bit of a theme, if you hadn't noticed yet. So, because before this section, I also played a number of tracks from the soundtrack of the movie La Haine, which is a French movie, now 25 years old, and which was made, which deals with inequities in the Parisian banlieues, which are the ghettos of Paris. Inequities, both racial inequities and financial inequities. And the film came about after a black kid was shot by police. If that doesn't sound familiar, 25 years old. But Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy, about the same time. That's almost 30 years old now too. Jill Scott Heron in the 70s. And in preparation for this program, I actually watched Do the Right Thing from Spike Lee again. And, you know, that's 88. We're dealing with the same shit, but also the same themes, and we're having the same discussions. Because, whilst before it was television, now we're talking about social media. Really, is that really so different? And if we're still talking about it, why can't we do anything about it? It's remarkable. I've got ideas. Maybe you've got ideas. If you want to shout out to me, I'm live on Facebook and Mixcloud at the moment. You can message me there, or you can email me. That's liquidsunshine@thefaceradio.com. You're listening to Liquid Sunshine on The Face Radio. The Face Radio, which went quiet completely for the whole of Tuesday. And so for the whole of Wednesday, we actually have 24 hours. 24 hours of live radio. And many of the presenters of The Face Radio are located in Brooklyn, because the Face Radio is the soul of Brooklyn. Some of them are in Manhattan, scattered around New York. I'm in Australia. And there are quite a few scattered around the UK and Northern Ireland as well. We are an international radio station. And the Face Radio does not stand for racism or bigotry. We will not have it. Now, we've had the anger, we've had the messaging. Let's move on to some things that of hope that can make us happy. This is a track like many of the tracks before that really it makes me not only happy, it actually touches me emotional. The first two tracks that I played off the show, Angelitas Negros from Roberta Flack and You'll Never Walk Alone by Aretha Franklin. They never fail to get goosebumps and tears even. Yes, tears indeed. Next track is another one of those tracks. You just have to play it. You have to play it completely because it is beautiful. Oh Happy Day from Brooke Benton.
Oh, it was a happy day when Jesus washed all of my sins away. He just washed them away. It was a happy day. Talking about a happy day when Jesus washed all of my sins away. He just washed them away. He taught me how to watch, fight, and pray and live rejoicing every day. Man, it was a happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, it was a happy day. Oh, happy day. When Jesus washed. Oh, he walked right in and washed. When Jesus washed. He just cleansed my soul. When Jesus washed all my sins away. And it was a happy day. When Jesus washed, when Jesus washed, oh, when Jesus washed all of my sins away, it was a happy day. yours is the quest that's just begun. When you're feeling real low, yeah, there's a great truth that you should know. When you're young, gifted and black, your soul's intact. To be young, gifted and black. Oh, how I've longed to know the truth. There are times when I look back and I am haunted by my youth. All of my joy of today is that we can all be proud to say, to be young, gifted and black is where it's at. It's where it's at. It's where it's at. On a rainy Sunday morning in 1942, a mother was blessed with a son who grew up to be young, gifted and brown, with the strength to tear a mountain down, with a voice so young and clear, a chance for everyone to hear. Yeah, young, gifted and brown. And as he grew up and learned his ABCs, he found out very soon he was destined to be young, gifted and brown, with a chance to change the world around, with a book so fresh and clear, a chance for everyone to hear. Conquered the impossible and captured his fears, and found out his reward was a huge crowd of cheers. And all too soon he found out he was getting nowhere, 'cause the only thing that mattered was someone who cared. He gave up his heart, the music he loved, and took his place among the stars up above. And from this day forward till the end of time, he was young, gifted and brown. Ooh, with the strength to change the world around. He was young, gifted and brown, with a chance to change the world around. Get 'em, ha, woo. Child, gifted and wild. Child, gifted and wild. Here we go. So the moral of the story, which began in 42, was the mother had a child, which we all knew grew up to be young, gifted and brown. Yeah, with the strength to tear a mountain down. He was young, gifted and brown, with a chance to change the world around. Here we go. Child, gifted and wild. Child, gifted and wild. Child, gifted and wild. Child, gifted and wild. Young, gifted and brown, with a chance to change the world around.
Out of the mercy of Allah and the law written in our nature, we call an individual into existence. And when that individual comes, I make no apologies for what I'm about to say.
I'm America's worst nightmare. I'm young, black, and holding my nuts like cheer. Showers in the pub, having a light beer. I was at the club, having a fight there. Y'all could go home, husband and wife there. My mama at work trying to buy me the right gear. 9 years old, uncle lost his life here. I grew up thinking life ain't fair. How can I get a real job? China white right there, right in front of my sight, like here. Yeah, there's your ticket out the ghetto. Take flight right here. Tell me you go bye-bye here. Damn, there's a different set of rules we abide by here. You need a gun, niggas might drive by here. You're having fun, racing all your hot rods there. Downloading all our music on your iPods there. I'm Chuck D, standing in the crosshairs here. Y'all straight, chicks got horsehair here. Y'all ain't gotta be in fear of your bosses there. Y'all lose your job, your pop rich, y'all don't care, so I don't care. Y'all acting like y'all don't hear. All the screams from the ghetto, all the teens ducking metal here. So they steam like a kettle here, trying to take their mind to a whole different level here. Yeah, we real close to the devil here. Gotta be a better way, somebody call the reverend here. Yeah, that must really be in heaven here. Somebody tell God that we got a couple questions here. My little cuz never got to see a seventh year, and I'm so used to pain that I ain't even shed a tear. Yeah.
Jay is like the epitome of the American dream. I mean, he had to come up in a very difficult environment, and he's, like he said himself, he's been fighting all his life. And he has taken his talent and his creativity and gone to, like, I think he's probably done things that are pretty much unparalleled.
Yeah, that was Jay-Z. And I wouldn't be surprised if we heard Beyonce there. Talking about Jay-Z, but Jay-Z did or Jay-Z, I believe the American pronunciation is, he did a version of Young, Gifted and Black. And I had a few versions of that. Nina Simone, of course, but also Joe Bataan, who did Young, Gifted and Brown. And Joe Bataan, he is one of those remarkable guys who, like Roy Ayers, is, you know, he makes his really positive, happy music. And the remarkable thing about Joe Bataan is, who I believe is a Filipino, when he came up, he started singing soul, but he also wanted to cross over to the Latin community, and he in fact was able to do so. He not only did soul, but he was also accepted by both the black and the Latino community. Now, this reminded me about a photo I recently received from Curtis Powers, who is, of course, the main man of The Face Radio. And Curtis had his hand or his arm around Joe Bataan, which made me very, very jealous because Joe Bataan, he is an absolute legend. But Curtis, he is on air today as well, and I'll give you a little bit of a rundown what will be on air today. But because today is in fact Curtis Mayfield's birthday. And Curtis Powers will be celebrating Curtis Mayfield's birthday with a special of his music. Let me have a look at what time that is. That's at from 2 to 4 Brooklyn time. But we're on air 24 hours today, the whole day. This is Liquid Sunshine. We've got what's going on from 2 to 4. Superfly Funk and Soul Show with Pete Brady from 4 to 6. Deb of Soul with Chris Anderton from 6 to 8. Coconut Grove with Tony Conquera, who normally is before Liquid Sunshine, from 8 to 10. And then we started off with Disco Freaks from 10 to 12. And that's only the morning indeed. And you know, the great thing about The Face Radio is that it is a wonderful community. It's a wonderful community of presenters, but also a wonderful community of listeners. And that is ultimately where we've got to all work to. My spiel is, we're working on communities. We have to actively engage our small communities around us and our bigger communities around us. And this is where I think the answer lies. I've been working on this for quite a while, quite a few years. It is very important to look at the communities, the neighbors. Do you know your neighbors? Knock on the door if you don't. Say hello. And work those macro communities around you. Know your street. And from there on, you know, you can make bigger connections as well. And these things are really, really important. Now that's, you know, a little bit of making my little bit count as it comes, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. But you're listening to Liquid Sunshine on The Face Radio, and I want to crank it up a bit more too. With still songs about protest and change and hope. This is Baby Huey. Listen to me.
crisis is causing alarm. Jealousy and envy is leading to destruction. And everywhere you turn, there's crime and corruption. This is our nation. Let's stop inflation while some are being patient, others are dying from starvation. The leaders and cheaters are running neck to neck, and everyday people lives are being wrecked. Law and order is demanded by the system. It's a dog-eat-dog world and nobody's got time to listen. Mama fussing, daddy cussing, schools are busting, and the whole thing's disgusting.
He keeps you down. He keeps you down. He good for something, yeah. He working like a slave. Deep inside your mind is in a grave. And enough for you to watch us working like a slave. Deep inside your mind is in a grave. He keeps you down. He keeps you down. Getting high, crying, dying. We ain't got nobody. And those machines that took our gigs. Seems the good white folks done blessed us with a curse. Things ain't getting better. Things getting worse. Ain't enough for you to watch us working like a slave. Deep inside your mind is in a grave. Ain't enough for you to watch us working like a slave. Deep inside your mind is in a grave. Been a slave all my day. It's time to shake off the master's way. Been a slave all my day. Don't want to be one to my grave. Been a slave all my day. It's time to shake off the master's way. Been a slave all my day.
Yeah, a bit more politically charged funk there, and ultimately that's one of the reasons that I like funk and I like playing funk, because there is this is where the funk and soul and gospel and disco and hip hop and rap all comes from. It is the it addresses the issues that play in the community. There's so much more depth to it, and there's already a lot of building of community, of course, and that's where we let's work on that a little bit. Let me tell you a story about communities. Why I think communities are important. It's not only because resilient communities are required now to change with the challenges that we are facing, in the very short term, but also in the longer term, in the maybe 10, 20, 50 years. So we're talking about challenges like, of course, global warming, but also, the social disintegration, such matters. So we require communities around us, around everyone, to deal with this and to help each other out. But the other thing is, and this is a story that I will tell you, it also gives us political power. Yes, and with us I mean the people who are not part of, the billionaires group. So, and in the end, it's most people who are not part of the billionaires group. So, what's the story? Maybe about 10 or so years ago, here in Australia, there was a particular politician in a rural seat, who was in a very safe rural seat. She was elected many times over at maybe 60, 70, 75% every election. And of course, as democracy then dictates, that is the will of the people. But as it turns out, this particular politician was also a very unpleasant person. She was awful. She was truly awful. So there was this not only bugged people within the electorate, but also in the whole of Australia. Within the electorate, what started happening was that people started having what is now called kitchen table discussions. So discussions in small group together, 5, 6, 7 people, maybe even 4 or 3. But all those little discussions of disparate groups, they all connected to each other. So, out of that group of 6, one would go to another group and another one would go to another group. And so rather than making, forming a long chain, this became a mesh, a net all over the district. And ultimately, this politician was not only defeated at the elections, the incumbent then, was re-elected again and again and again. And that's another part why communities are so important. Because it gives us hope. That's really what it comes down to. Hope that we can change the system. All right. Let's play some more political funk and the kind of tracks that make you proud.
We've been treated bad, talked about, as sure as you born. But just as sure
bird fly on. I want the clouds over my head. Over my head. Over my head. I don't want no snowboard day. Yeah. Snowboard day. Snowboard day. I'm gonna live until I'm dead. Till I'm dead. Till I'm dead. Mother, 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 save your child. Mother, 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 save your child. Lord, Lord, where will I be tomorrow night? Yeah. Said we're going right on, be free. Going right on, got to be free. 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 Then we're going right on, we're going right on, we're going right on.
Massive blacky whitey clouds, cold light on winds of change to sound the thunder heard across the land I know. Children of the light must hate the night in order to redeem the skeletons of blood-stained hands that show. Legions of the Christian hordes conspire to suck away the brains of children of the dark again. I know. Lips that whisper love can scream the hate for those so fortunate as not to be encased and have it stand through time. Rationales of higher-ups where elevators cruise the clouds conclude that Satan's children are not bright sometimes. Rationales hear the acted cries of wolf and hope that justice will prevail in new breed light in time. Venture with me in the uncharted sea of the unspoken dreams of light. Speak you not of genocide. Indians have yet to hide. Time will come when death will ride a mean and bloody train from the smog-filled coasts of California to the rock-strewn coasts of Maine. Nervous breakdowns crowd the calendar of freedom when reality is forced upon the non-believer's ego plan. Criticizers from the hanging cliffs of plenty laugh to see the fall of those who would remain in honest lands. Clairvoyants strive to see the plans of those who need to know what lies beyond the seeing tree of life. Titilators of the masses do the dance of death before the eyes of dyers doing dances of their own, you see. Wishers crawl through catacombs of fantasy where Jesus is the victim of the scientific age of man. Pretenders to the stolen throne of rock would lock the door of justice with the age-old key of greed again. Venture with me in the uncharted sea of the unspoken dreams of light. Speak you not of genocide, Indians have yet to hide. Time will come when death will ride a mean and bloody train from the smog-filled coasts of California to the rock-strewn coasts of Maine. Daggers seeking blood have captured hearts of men by making sweet the thrill of killing other men in battle. Ill-gotten gains of war are wearing thin the theory of the democratic life, strictly conceived by cattle. Rumbling stomachs of the light inflame suspicions of the peaceful life. Way, way, way beyond the dollar bill. Beasts of blue reveal conditions of the courts of men in black who blow their minds for life at will. Game for game, the light protrudes on rights of men around the ball of blue that hangs way out in space and time. Leading ladies, stealing wives of men whose lives reject the truth of starving children cross the tracks of mime. Venture with me in the uncharted sea of the unspoken dreams of light. Speak you not of genocide, Indians have yet to hide. Time will come when death will ride a mean and bloody train from the smog-filled coasts of California to the rock-strewn coasts of Maine.
Yeah, Unspoken Dreams of Light there. And you're listening to Liquid Sunshine on the Face Radio with a special episode playing songs of protest, change and hope. Because like the Unspoken Dreams of Light, we are looking at transformative change. We need transformative change. Like the cliche says, the system is broken. And we've seen that over the last week and a half. We already knew that the system was broken, but now the anger is coming out. Now, I've talked about community. I've talked about how anger is a manifestation of grief. And I also talked about, or I played songs about revolution, about change, about transformative change. And I've spoken about building communities before. If you're interested in well, hearing me talk about it more, go back to the first episode of Liquid Sunshine, the first episode of this year, where I talked about my experience that I had over the summer here in Australia, where it was a dreadful, hot and fiery summer. But at one stage, apart from the fact that Canberra was under fire threat for the whole summer, we had smoke here for at least 2 months, like smoke, as in the house was filled with smoke constantly. I also was caught with a group of adults, about 20 adults and about 25 children. We were caught in between two large fires. And how did we deal with that? Well, we banded together as a community and we came up with a plan to survive it. So community is important. How are we going to achieve transformative change? Well, there's no one answer, of course. But we're not going to achieve it without building our communities. And, we're not going to achieve it without being nice to each other. We have to be nice to each other. So, let's play some songs of hope.
Is gentle as a rose, and love can conquer anyone. It's time to take a stand. Brothers and sisters, join hands. We got to let love rule. We got to let love rule. Love transcends all space and time, and love can make a little child smile. Oh, can't you see? This won't go wrong. But we got to be strong. We can't do it alone. We got to let love rule.
a little love in our hearts, we'll get over. We'll get over. Things in life we desire may seem a little hard to come by, but we'll get over. We'll get over. Disappointment won't be no hinder if we let love be our defender. We'll get over. We'll get over. We'll make it over. Yeah. We'll make it over. Oh yeah, we'll get over. We'll get over. We'll get over. The mountain before us is a hard climb. We're together, but we don't mind. Get over. Get on over. Chains and steel can't hold us down. It ain't nothing gonna turn us around. We'll get over. Get on over. As long as we feel in our hearts, nothing can tear this love apart. Get over. We'll get over. We'll get over, we'll get over, we'll get over. Long as we love each other, we're gonna make it. We'll get over. Make it rough sometime, but we're gonna make it too. We'll get over. We're gonna make it. We'll get over. Oh, we gotta make it. We'll get over. Oh, we'll get over. We're gonna make it now. We'll get over. Oh, yeah. We'll get over. Sure gonna make it now. We'll get over. A little understanding. We'll get over. Oh, we're gonna make it now. We'll get over. Ooh, we'll get over. We're gonna make it, y'all. We'll get over.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Lord, carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
Yeah, come on, children. A change is going to come, indeed. And we've been talking about that lots and lots, indeed. And a change needs to come. Now we're almost at the end of this episode of Liquid Sunshine on the Face Radio. My name is Maarten Vlot. If you want to have a little bit of a chat about this, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're everywhere. Just look for Liquid Sunshine or Liquid Sunshine Sound System. Or you can send me an email, liquidsunshine@thefaceradio.com. So we're talking about transformative change. We're talking about community building. You and I, we have to build these communities around us, and we have to build these communities together. I've also said that a lot of presenters of the Face live in New York, live in Brooklyn, Manhattan. They're in the midst of it. I'm shouting out to all of them who are in the midst of it. Stay safe. For everyone, stay safe. This is no joke. This is not a drill. Now I'm going to close off the show with two tracks. Two. A track I've been dying to play, and I was umming and ahhing whether I should. You know, it's almost inevitable. Public Enemy, Fight the Power, because that's what we need to do, fight the power. But I'm going to close the show off with Edwin Starr's War, What Is It Good For? And whilst they seem to be opposed to each other, they're not. They can go hand in hand. Because yes, we need to fight the power, we need this transformative change, but we also need to avoid war. We actually need to work together. We need to let love rule. You know, all those cliches. But that's what it comes down to. So let's do it. My name is Maarten Vlot. This was Liquid Sunshine.
Another summer. Sound of the funky drummer. Music hitting your heart, cause I know you got a soul. Hey, listen if you're missing, y'all. Swinging while I'm singing. Giving what you're getting. Knowing what I know in. While the black band's sweating. In the rhythm I'm rolling. Gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power! 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 We got to fight the powers that be! As the rhythm's designed to bounce with calcium that the rhyme designed to fill your mind. Now that you realize the prize arrives, we got to pump the stuff to make it tough. From the heart, it's a start, a work of art to revolutionize, make a change, something strange. People, we are the same, no we're not the same, cause we don't know the game. What we need is awareness, we can't get careless. You say, what is this? Our beloved, let's get down to business. Mental self-defense of fitness. Don't rest the show. You got to go with what you know to make everybody see. In order to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power! We got to fight the powers that be! Fight
to me. Oh, war I despise. 'Cause it means destruction of innocent lives. War means tears to thousands of mothers die when their sons go off to fight and lose their lives. I said war. Good God, y'all.
What is it good for?
Absolutely. Get sad again.
War.
Oh, Lord.
What is it good for?
Absolutely.
Nothing.
Listen to me.
War.
It ain't nothing but a heartbreak.
War.
Friend only to the undertaker. Oh, war is an enemy to all mankind. The thought of war blows my mind. War has caused unrest within the younger generation. Induction, then destruction. Who wants to die? Oh, war. Good God, y'all.
What is it good for?
Absolutely.
Nothing.
Sad.
War.
Oh, yeah.
What is it good for?
Absolutely.
Nothing.
Listen to me.
War.
It ain't nothing but a heartbreaker.
War.
It's got one friend, that's the undertaker. Oh, war has shattered many a young man's dreams. Made him disabled, bitter and mean. Life is much too short and precious to spend fighting wars each day. War can't give life, it can only take it away. Oh, war! Good God, y'all.
What is it good for?
Absolutely.
Nothing.
Say it again.
War.
Oh, Lord.
What is it good for?
Absolutely.
Nothing.
Listen to me.
War.